All right, to our feature story tonight. Next time you're telling a friend about your horror headache, spare a thought for a handful of people who really know about pain. Their headaches are so extreme that they bang their heads against walls for relief. Now, I've got to warn that we're about to show the brutal impact of cluster headaches, and it is very confronting stuff.
It's painful to watch.
Go away, you bastard, leave me alone.
But agony to endure.
And just when you think it's gone, it comes back again.
And it can strike several times a day for 15 minutes to 3 hours at a time.
Oh, Jesus.
You've already got a freight train running through your head, but then you'll get like an ice pick effect, or someone jabbing you in the head.
It's the beast. It's as if the inside of my head is trying to explode.
It feels like someone's stabbing you in the back of the head with some sort of sharp object.
They're called cluster headaches, a rare type of headache where victims suffer frequent bursts of extreme pain.
People sometimes call it suicide headache, and it's certainly true that patients, while they have it, feel suicidal.
You're going to go through hell, and then you're going to go through hell again, then you're going to go through hell again, and you just keep going through hell, and in the end, it takes its toll.
Trevor Bell recorded an attack to raise awareness of the pain and also the helplessness between clusters, which can be months or even a year or two apart.
It's really quite bizarre. They go from having this extremely severe headache, which is almost impossible to bear, to feeling perfectly normal between times.
An estimated 14,000 Australians suffer cluster headaches. Men outnumber women and most are smokers. The cause is a mystery. Genetics could be at play, alcohol might be a trigger. One theory is a dysfunction in the part of the brain which regulates the biological clock. That could be why it strikes like a cruel time bomb, often at the same time of night or the same season each year.
Sadly, some people get the several times a day, but they never get the gaps. They get it every single day.
There's no cure, just management. Like a serious burst of oxygen.
Right at the maximum here.
To take the edge off an attack. People even beat themselves, desperate to tackle the excruciating pain. When a cluster headache strikes at work, handyman David Yanelli needs to hide. He'll quickly drive around the corner to spare the customer.
Screaming, pulling my hair out, banging my head against something just to try and take my mind off the pain. I usually start to tear up, my eyes swell. It's not a pretty thing to watch.
It's hard to believe that something so debilitating is not common knowledge. But cluster heads, as they call themselves, often struggle to get a diagnosis.
One of the hospitals told me to stop coming to them because they thought I was purely after pain medication. They did brain scans and tests on me and could find nothing wrong, so I thought that I was just faking it.
It takes about 6 years in general from the patients, usually go from doctor to doctor until they find someone who recognises the condition and says, I can do something about that.
Medication can be hit and miss or very expensive. One option for extreme cases is an electrode implant in the back of the head, like a pacemaker.
The stimulus goes to that nerve and it buzzes the nerve, and it seems to have an impact on how much cluster headache patients get.
With treatment like that, it's no wonder that other options are considered.
I would give anything for them to stop, and I would be willing to try anything, go to any lengths to have that happen. So I have looked into the alternative treatments, such as LSD and magic mushrooms.
The experts aren't fans of these efforts, but they understand the frustration.
You see people who are wondering whether life is worth living. You cannot ignore that.
Yet some patients do feel ignored and just want to be taken more seriously.
Hopefully, somewhere down the line, some medical student will go, wow, there's something worth studying.
Extraordinary story. And 6 years to be diagnosed.
Distressing to see.
I mean, if you saw someone doing that, beating their head against a wall, I mean, you wouldn't have any sense that that's what was going on.
I think I've had maybe like 2 migraines in my life, and they're terrible. But I mean that, and it was happening. You know, if you knew it was going to happen, if spring was coming up and that was the trigger, I mean, it was frightening.
You'd be living in fear all the time between the attacks, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Hey, for more information on those headaches and helpful forums, just go to the Sites We Like page on our website.
Heaps more of the project coming up after the break.
I need to know that you've